The Resident Evil 4 Remake is as full of secrets and hidden Easter eggs as it is full of angry villagers wielding farming equipment. And if you haven't played it yet, it is very full of angry villagers wielding farming equipment. Some of these secrets are new, some are also present in the original, some give you achievements, and some are just totally bizarre. Here are our 11 favourite for you to keep an eye on as you play through the game. Enjoy! Now, I would argue that Leon goes into his vitally important mission to rescue the president's daughter poorly equipped, on account of how he turns up in rural Spain with a handgun, a handful of bullets, a knife, and an admittedly very nice jacket. Turns out though that both these weapons hold sentimental value for our boy LSK. The gun, as we can see if we examine it, is a special model produced by Robert Kendo, the gunsmith last seen in the Resident Evil 2 remake having a tough time with his daughter.
Mommy.
I'm sleeping, honey. Okay.
Meanwhile, the knife, we're told, is the very same knife given to Leon by doomed cop Marvin Branner, also in the Resident Evil 2 remake.
You'll need this.
Can't take him.
Stop. And don't make my mistake.
Feel kinda bad now for how many times I've broken it by stabbing people. Possibly the most delightful new addition to the Resident Evil 4 remake is this Easter egg, which allows you to skip almost all of the brutal, stressful village fight at the start of the game. As you're no doubt aware, the fight only ends when the village church bell rings, summoning the villagers away from their current task of murdering you to go and pray to a big parasite, or whatever it is they do in there.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Pretty sure it isn't bingo. Now, if you look really closely, you can see the church tower complete with bell from the village, and if you can pull off the tricky feat of shooting the bell, the ringing sound your shot makes will fool the villagers into thinking it's church chime, and they'll immediately down tools and clock off for the day. Not you, Leon. You got about 16 more hours of game to do. In the original Resident Evil 4, you might remember that shooting the lake that you just saw had a big monster in it was a bad idea. Thankfully, this Easter egg has remained in the Resident Evil 4 remake, where you can expect much the same treatment if you turn up and start blasting away at Del Lago's watery home. You'd think I'd have learned in the last 18 years. And yet. At the beginning of Chapter 12, you're able to backtrack to Ramon Salazar's fancy throne room, where he presumably sits and rants at people and does his weird hair. Like in the original game, if you fancy living a bit of that Castellan lifestyle yourself, you can have a little sit in Ramon's fancy chair, at which point Leon will adopt a pensive pose, as if contemplating the weight of responsibility of ruling over his kingdom of chickens. Either that or he's thinking of cool insults to shout at Salazar later. Probably that one, to be honest. Resident Evil has never been a series known for its naturalistic and believable dialogue, but the most famous example of Resi speak has to be Barry's description of Jill in Resident Evil 1 as a master of unlocking.
Here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
Later on in the game, after one of the many times you rescue Ashley, in return, she unlocks a door for you and makes a reference to this immortal line.
Pretty much a master of unlocking.
Jill Valentine would be proud. Another Easter egg you might have missed in the original and that has made its way into the Resident Evil 4 remake is the fact that during the final jet ski escape with Ashley, when the entire cave you're in is collapsing around you, you can do sick jet ski tricks for cash. To do these cool and physically improbable tricks, all you need to do is hold the Interact button, A on Xbox, X on PS5, and you and Ashley will go for a spin, earning you a peseta bonus into the bargain. Is this the time to be doing cool tricks when everything around you is collapsing and it's literally a matter of life or death? A good question, but now is not the right time. Ask me when I'm not doing cool tricks. Some elements of the Resident Evil 4 remake are completely new, like the introductory cutscene which shows Los Iluminados sacrificing a young woman at a forest altar. You also find files which reveal that this woman was one of 2 hikers who had the misfortune of going hiking in the wrong area and ended up kidnapped. You can find this altar, as well as the bodies of these hikers, in Chapter 4 by boating over and using the insignia key, where you will find one of them chained up.
What the hell is going on here?
And the other still on the altar. Honestly, at least clean up after yourselves, Los Iluminados. Seriously, worst cult ever. Ramon Salazar will be remembered for many things. Being weird, that haircut, how weird he is, and also his haircut.
Expel this intruder!
But probably he's best known for how he doesn't shut up and is constantly berating you, either in person or through speaking tubes.
Are you ready to hand over the girl?
Not this guy again.
While you can shoot the speaking tubes to shut him up, the best way to shut him up for good, apart from shooting him mid-sentence of course,
You vulgar, utterly uncivilized mongrel!
is to throw a grenade in his mouth, and if you do, there's a secret achievement in it for you called You Talk Too Much. Achievements for things you want to do anyway are the best kind. Speaking of Salazar, one of the merchant's requests is to deface his painting in the castle. However, the painting itself is utterly impervious to all of your guns, knives, and rocket launchers. So how on earth do you deface it? Well, the answer is that you have to throw an egg at it.
That should do it.
That'll learn you. A bit more of a literal Easter egg here. And speaking of eggs, Salazar has a secret hidden treasure in his throne room. What is it? It's a golden egg.
I'll be taking this.
A rare treasure in the game, which means the merchant will buy it at a high price, but it also leads us to our final Easter egg, which is that the fact that this golden egg is locked up so tight is a clue that Salazar really doesn't want it falling into the wrong hands. And the reason for that is that the golden egg is his greatest weakness when he transforms into boss form. Throwing the golden egg at Salazar during his boss fight causes a whopping 70% damage to this Castellan Chimera, making it trivial to finish him off with some other weapon. I guess you could say he has egg on his face? Does that still count as a face? I guess it doesn't matter at this point. So those were our favourite secrets and Easter eggs in the Resident Evil 4 remake. Do you have a favourite we missed? Let us know in the comments and like and subscribe for more Resident Evil from Outside Xbox. Thanks for watching.